All right, we are live. Howdy, YouTube. I don't know if you can tell, but I am not Damon Cart. I know the resemblance is striking. As we're having people starting to sign on, hello. I'm glad that you're here today. And I got some extremely exciting stuff to announce today. Let me just introduce myself first as you're beginning to sign on and tune into this. My name is Peter Schwartz, and I'm a peak performance coach, and I encountered Damon's work in November. So before I share with you the exciting stuff that we're doing and what this is gonna mean for you, I wanna share very briefly what it's been like using this material in my own life. So I met Damon in November, and up until meeting Damon, I had been in the personal development sphere forever. Like you, I watched all of the YouTube videos on NLP, on personal development, on everything that I could find about what is the single one or two secrets that are going to make the biggest difference and allow me to actually be the person that I wanted to be. So I started going to trainings in 2010 and on all the way up until, for whatever reason, I still could not get myself to take action. I couldn't get over my fears, my insecurities. And I was watching a YouTube video one day of Damon, and I decided, for whatever reason, I just knew that I needed to reach out to him. And so I reached out. And doing that, taking that one action, has been massively transformative for me in almost every single area of my life. And just real briefly to tell you what happened. When I reached out to him, I was struggling financially. I was working a job at 4:30 in the morning so that I could try to build my coaching practice, but I wasn't getting new clients. And I was relying very heavily on my parents for financial support. I was riddled with fear, insecurity, self-doubt, you name it. And within 2 months of implementing the material that we're going to be sharing with you today, I managed to not only fill my coaching practice, I ended up moving out, getting a new place, and completely shifting my emotional well-being as well, stepping into greater self-esteem, more confidence, and being much more fulfilled on a regular and an ongoing basis. And so I'm incredibly excited. You know, I don't promote other people's work, but the reason why I'm here today is because good change work, good effective techniques that will shift you are hard to find. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring Damon on today so that we can share with you what I know is gonna make such a powerful difference in your life.
So we just had several technological glitches, and people get upset with me when I post a live that's coming up on YouTube, and then for whatever reason it doesn't happen, and then I just have to go live on the regular thing. So I apologize to all of you because I know when that happens, you're wanting to tune in through the original channel that I put on there, and that's not happening. So sorry about that. Right. Thank you, Peter. That was a great. Come this way.
Yep.
Okay, great. We're all loose on this today because nothing is working right. But that's okay. We persist, and we said we were going to do this, and here we are doing it. So before I get into this, the Life Mastery Gym membership program is now open. I only open my membership once or twice a year. It's now open, so you can get in from now until Thursday. There is a link behind me over here. I've also put a link in the descriptions. Let's hope that they came through. You can click that link and you can see all that's entailed in the membership. And I'm sorry too if my eyes keep darting from one to the next. I got two cameras on me that I'm trying to pay attention to. So there's that. And then if you're not sure, if you want to know more about what's in the membership program, I have one more webinar that we're doing. We did one last night, we did one this morning, and we got one more left. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time, because we're in California. You can sign on to that, and I think Peter is going to drop some of those links in the comments as well, so you don't have to go looking for them. They'll be right there. So let's talk about fulfilling your potential, because this is something that I was kind of obsessed with for a while, because I felt like I wasn't fulfilling my potential, and I would talk a lot about potential and like, how do I know if I'm fulfilling my potential? So I spent years really struggling with this. And so you might have a different name for it, you might call it something different, but we're all sort of searching for some sort of fulfillment, some sort of sense of purpose and meaning in life. And really what I found is that it's your potential that really gives you that feeling. Now, I won't say that this will solve all of your problems. We can sometimes experience depression, trauma, and some of these other negative feelings that really don't have a direct link to fulfilling your potential or not fulfilling your potential. So it's not going to solve every single negative feeling. But in general, if you know the feeling of being lost and aimless in life, if you look around and you say, wow, I can pay my bills, I've got a nice family, I've got a house, I've got a car, whatever, I've got a good job, but I'm just not happy, I'm just not fulfilled, I'm just not satisfied. This happens to a lot of us. And that is a very good indication that you're not fulfilling your potential, that your potential is going unfulfilled. So then what do we do now? What do we do in a situation like that? Well, most of us do what we shouldn't do, which is we distract ourselves. We look for ways to distract ourselves from that negative feeling, from that emptiness, from that aimlessness, from that meaninglessness or that purposelessness. So what do we do to distract ourselves? We get on the internet and binge watch stuff that is completely meaningless and doesn't give us any real fulfillment. It could be mildly entertaining, but it doesn't really take you anywhere. It doesn't uplift you, enlighten you. A lot of people put it into drinking or even eating. A lot of us even use porn or anything like that to titillate the senses and distract ourselves from that suffering. So what would be a better way to manage that? Well, face the suffering and say, okay, what is this feeling of lack of satisfaction and lack of fulfillment in life telling me? And I can almost assure you, everybody's a little bit different, but in these situations when it comes to fulfillment and satisfaction, you're pretty much what you're experiencing is not fulfilling your potential, that your potential is calling out to you. And the more you use distractions to take you away from that feeling, the more you will suffer, the more you will have to find more and more distractions. So stop and ask yourself, what am I being called to do? And there are so many things, and I hear people talk about this all the time. It could be just friends that I have in just casual conversation, or it could be a coaching client, or it could be a family member. I hear people talking about all those little things they would like to try, all those little things they would like to do. And I say, okay, so what are you doing about that? And I don't have time, or I don't have the money. And that always gets me because I was in that place a short time ago. Actually, I don't want to say a short time ago. It was about 10 years ago where I really hit the bottom. And that's what I thought. I thought I had no resources, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the money, and this is just the state of life, and I need to accomplish X, Y, Z in order to get to that place where I have the time and I have the money. I was so focused on the problems that were right in front of me that I couldn't see beyond them. And this is a huge problem that a lot of us have, where we're not really looking beyond the problem, we're looking at the problem. And we're looking at the obstacle, and it's right in front of us, and we say, okay, I can't have what I want until I solve this. And that will stop you and keep you stuck for perhaps ever. To get beyond that, you have to start thinking beyond the obstacle, beyond the problem. So if you feel like you're lacking money, or you're lacking resources like time and money, which is what I thought, and it wasn't really true. I could have made a good argument 10 years ago about not having enough money and not having enough time, but I had a therapist and I had coaches eventually who really challenged that out of me, and they said, okay, well, so Damon, what do you have the time to do? You obviously have the time to be depressed, because I was severely depressed. So you have time. It's really a myth that you don't have the time. The time and the money have to do with what do you decide is important for you. And right now, if you're facing a problem, an obstacle in front of you, you're deciding that obstacle is the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. You want on the other side of that obstacle. So start thinking, okay, if I had the time, if I had the money, then what would I actually do? Because most people don't think that far, and if you don't think that far, you're never going to get there. If you can't see the light on the other side of it, then you have nothing to really move toward. You have this idea of solving a problem and then everything being okay, but we know that's not how it works. You're going to solve one problem and you're going to have another one pop right back up, because there's always problems to solve. So you go beyond it and you think, what is beyond this? What is the light that I'm looking for? And the key to this, a lot of it is those little things that you keep putting aside that you want to do. I want to travel. I don't have the time or money. I want to start writing a novel. I don't have the time. You know, you name it, whatever it is, we keep making these excuses and deleting this out of our lives. Go back to those things, write those things out. What would I like to do? What would I like to be filling my time with? If I had the time and the money, what would I fill it with? And then it's just a matter of, sometimes you will find that it's all there. Like you will ask yourself, well, wait a minute, of course I can go out and do this. This doesn't take too much time and I enjoy it, so I'm gonna go do it. Or it's not nearly as expensive as you thought. This gets me all the time. I love to travel. I travel a lot. And people go, oh, I wish I had the money to travel. And I'm like, there's no cheaper time in the history of the world, comparatively speaking, and with money, to travel. I mean, plane tickets are not that expensive, especially if you time things right. And it doesn't take a lot of research to go and figure out when to buy a plane ticket that's really inexpensive. So when people tell me that, they go, well, I don't have the time and I don't have the money, I will sit there and I kind of like grab them and say, okay, before we're done here, you're gonna go book this trip. And I've done that with people, and they've actually booked the trip, and they later thanked me and they said, I just didn't think it was possible. And I was like, I know, that's just it. You weren't putting your mind there. You weren't putting your mind in the possibility. You were putting your mind in the limitation and in the scarcity and saying, no, I can't do this. They just assumed they couldn't do it. So go back to those things. Go back to those things that, if you had unlimited time and unlimited money, you would be filling that time with, you would be spending that money on. And those are clues as to what it is that you're looking for, what it is that will fulfill you. This is your potential calling, those little things in the back of your mind that make themselves known that you're getting rid of and not really paying attention to. Bring those things back. These are the keys, these are the clues to fulfilling your potential. And when you start acting on these things, you'll start to evolve. You'll start to see, like, sometimes the thing that you thought you would like to do, you realize you don't really enjoy it, but you find that there's something else that presents itself. And then sometimes you enjoy something for a long time and you realize after a while it's not really doing it for you. I did yoga for 10 years. I would normally practice like 5 to 6 days a week, and then I just got to a point where I just couldn't roll out my mat and do yoga anymore. There was something that wasn't working for me anymore. For years it had worked, and I thought, well, what's wrong with me that yoga's not doing it for me anymore? Am I not disciplined enough? Am I not using my willpower enough? And that's a clue right there, that if you feel like you need discipline and willpower to do something, that's probably a clue of something to avoid. In general, avoid thinking that you have to rely on discipline and willpower. It's not true. And if you're all will and discipline, you're not going to enjoy your life. You may be able to accomplish great things, but you're not going to really enjoy your life. So I got to this point where I was really disappointed because I thought, I'm giving up my yoga practice. And then I had this idea that I wanted to try Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go give this a shot. It's just an idea. And I tried it and I absolutely loved it. And it fulfilled me in all the ways that yoga had been fulfilling me, but wasn't fulfilling me anymore. And I also found that I could do both. I can't do as much of yoga as I used to, but I could do both. And actually the yoga helps me out quite a bit in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I remember meeting my yoga teacher, my first yoga teacher, who I still consider like my main yoga teacher, and telling her, I kind of put my head down, like, I don't do yoga as much. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu more. And I told her how, I wasn't being fulfilled anymore. And she goes, no, this is part of the yoga journey too. And it just, her telling me that just was like lifted a weight off me. She's like, no, you have to go with what you're feeling. Where is your journey taking you? And if your journey is taking you into another physical practice, that doesn't mean that you're abandoning yoga. That is part of yoga in a more spiritual sense. Well, I had no idea that that's how she would be thinking about it, but that really aligns with what I'm talking about here with fulfilling your potential. So there were some key things. I think I mentioned some of them, and I want to just check and make sure that I mentioned all of them before we get off this live. Yes, look beyond the immediate obstacles. Your clues are where in your life you're feeling unsatisfied or unfulfilled. Those are clues to where you should be looking to fulfill your potential. What are the ideas that you have? And get creative. The more creative you are, the better, because that fulfills another value that most of us have of being creative. So what you think will fulfill you probably won't. that is where the money and the big accomplishments come in. So there's nothing wrong with making lots of money. I enjoy making money, and we need to make a certain amount of money to be fulfilled. I don't want to say happy, but fulfilled. But oftentimes we think that we have to make a certain amount of money, and we have to accomplish a certain things, like I have to make my business really successful, or I can't be happy. And then you do these things, and I can say from personal experience, you do them and you realize, okay, yeah, it feels good, but it lasts about 24 hours. So now what do? I have to go chase another goal. So I go chase another goal, I make more sacrifices, and just to find myself like, okay, yeah, I accomplished another goal. It was fun for about 24 hours, but it doesn't lead to ultimate satisfaction. Ultimate satisfaction is going to become when on an ongoing basis, you are fulfilling your potential. All right. So those things, I can assure you, will not fulfill you. If you think that you have to accomplish things to be fulfilled, not going to work that way. And then distractions, I already mentioned distractions are basically the things that we do to take ourselves away from that feeling of emptiness and that feeling of being unfulfilled and unsatisfied in life. If you are distracting yourself with different things in order to take you away from that suffering, you're missing a huge opportunity to really find what fulfills you and how to actualize your potential. All right, Peter, you want to check in with questions and see if anybody has questions before we close out?
I don't have questions. Steven says, whoa, that's literally what I was just discussing with my girlfriend.
Cool.
And Sandra Edwards says yoga is unity of mind, body, and higher self-consciousness.
I agree with that.
And so I just commented to check out your free training.
Yes. Okay. So if you're just coming on, first of all, Life Mastery Gym membership program, the enrollment just opened. We opened it last night for the people who were on the webinar last night, and it will be open until this Thursday. We have a link in there. You can check out what's being offered. And again, the enrollment does close on Thursday, so you want to get in before that. You also get grandfathered pricing. So whatever price you join at now, as long as you stay in good standing, you'll never pay more than that. So 10 years from now, you're still going to be paying $49 a month, which is amazing considering what I'm offering inside the membership. And then if you're not sure about it and you want to find out more about what I teach in the membership, we have one webinar left. That webinar will happen tomorrow at 1 p.m. and it will be not here. It'll be, you have to sign up for the webinar. And we're having much better luck in the technology with the webinar than we've had on the lives. This live thing has just been, we're still sorting it out. It feels like every time I do a live, there's a new obstacle. But again, just like I've been telling everyone here, it will not stop me. I will continue to do lives, even though they frustrate me because we're having technological problems. I'm still going to do it because actually this did start as an impulse. Almost everything that I've created with this business has been an impulse. I wonder if this will work, and I gave it a try. Not all things worked, but I kept going and found what works and what doesn't work, and that's the same thing that you do in your life. You keep going with those impulses, and I don't mean being impulsive like I'm going to go blow a bunch of money or I'm going to go buy a brand new car that I can't afford. Not impulses like that, but you're having these impulses about the things that you want to do in your life, how you would like to spend your waking hours, and most of us aren't doing them. And so what I'm telling you is that is unfulfilled potential. Go with those impulses, and the idea you have about what that might turn into might not work out that way, but this is part of the process. The process is to go with that impulse, seek it out. Maybe your idea is crushed, but that's okay. You're still here, and you still keep moving forward. And as long as you keep moving forward, each one of these processes is going to teach you something new. It's going to bring you closer and closer to your fulfillment. All right, anything else?
We need to send them somewhere, and I can't post the link in the chat. YouTube won't allow me to post the live link. So you're to sign up for the webinar.
You can go to lifemasterygym.com, and I really apologize for the technology. I had last night sorted all of this stuff out, and of course then it didn't work. So if you're on Facebook, I can see on Facebook it worked. It's in the description and it's in the comments here. So for YouTube, go to my website, lifemasterygym.com, and it will pop up. You will see that there's a pop-up if you want to join the webinar for tomorrow. And if, would you check lifemasterygym.com? Do they have a direct route to check out the membership page?
Sure. If they type in lifemasterymember.com.
Yes, lifemasterymember.com will bring you to the membership opt-in page.
Okay, so let me just check Life Mastery Gym.
We'll make sure we'll set something up that'll move directly to it so you can click on it.
Yes, so.
So that's for the webinar, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so if you want to in on the webinar, just go to lifemasterygym.com. And then to go to just lifemasterymember.com, lifemasterymember.com. Actually, oh, it's right here. You might have to put in the HTTP. Let me bring this closer. Let's see, can we get it on this camera? Oh, it's backwards too. Oh, man. Okay, so it's the http://www.lifemasterymember.com. And like I said, as far as the technology goes, we seem to have it mastered everywhere else but these lives. I apologize. Anyway, all right, any other questions before we go?
I get a thank you. I've been following your stuff for a long time.
Thank you. Thank you for commenting and thank you for following. And so if you like my videos, you want to go deeper with this, and you want instruction, actual live real-time instruction with me, which is part of what we do in the membership. This membership program is for you. You will get exclusive content that I don't put out anywhere else but this membership program. You also get a community of people like Peter and other people who are making this work, and it's great to do this with a community to really master your life with other people who are doing the same thing, who will give you their perspectives, and they'll celebrate your successes. They'll help you up whenever you're not feeling it and you're feeling down. We all have those times where we feel that way and we just need someone to kind of give us a hand up or just tell us that we're doing it okay and it's going to be okay. And that's what we're there to do. So the more of us come together and do this, the more powerful we become in creating our lives together, the more empowered you're going to feel. And so what I'd like to tell people is the only thing better than creating the life that I want to live, which is what I've been doing. I've never been more fulfilled and satisfied in my life. The only thing that's better than that is sharing it with all of you and watching you grow and watching you do, create your vision and make that vision a reality. Like, that's such a beautiful thing that I love to be a part of. So come join us. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to having your perspective in the group. Everybody's perspective is different. Everybody's perspective is valuable. And when you add that to the group, it just makes the group grow and change in all the best ways. So I'm going to sign off for now. We are going to do it live tomorrow. I'm going to hope that we have all this sorted out by then, so it's not as messy as it was today. And otherwise, I'll see you on the webinar tomorrow. And other than that, I hope to see you in the group. So let's do this, all right?